Hello, welcome to Z Global Dispatch. Today is Sunday, February 24, 2025. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay global, subscribe and hit the bell. The world won't wait, and neither should you. Today's news summary. 3 years of Ukraine war leaders' perspectives and paths forward as the Russia-Ukraine war enters its third year. The conflict may make Ukraine to get extinct if urgent political action is not taken. Ukraine remains entrenched in a deadly war, with both sides signalling resolve amid escalating humanitarian and economic tolls. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy recently articulated starkly divergent visions for the future, reflecting deepening geopolitical fissures and the uncertain trajectory of the war. Vladimir Putin's perspective: resilience and expansion. In a major speech marking the war's anniversary, Putin framed Russia's actions as a special military operation necessary to defend Russian-speaking populations and counter NATO existential threat. He claimed irreversible gains in eastern Ukraine, citing the 2022 annexation of Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson as historic corrections to Ukraine's artificial borders. Putin emphasized Russia's economic resilience despite sanctions, touting strengthened ties with China, Iran, and global South nations as evidence of a shifting world order. While avoiding explicit vows of total victory, Putin warned that Western arms shipments would only prolong suffering, urging Ukraine to accept new territorial realities. He dismissed peace talks as futile unless Kiev recognizes Russia's sovereignty over annexed regions, signaling a strategy to consolidate control while testing Western resolve. Volodymyr Zelenskyy's perspective: defiance and dependency. Zelenskyy, in a televised address, vowed to reclaim all occupied territories, including Crimea, and denounced Putin's imperial delusions. He underscored Ukraine's dependency on Western military aid, praising recent EU packages but warning that delays risk ceding momentum to Russia. Our victory depends on global unity, and US superty declared, framing the war as a battle for democracy and liberty for Europe in general. European Union leaders are in Kiev and have joined President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Zelenskyy is trying to rally allies after the souring of relations with President Donald Trump, who falsely claimed Kiev started the war, and frozen US military aid to Ukraine in general. Ukraine's president posted on social media hailing his country's resistance and heroism. Global alignments shifting alliances, while Western unity shows strains. Russia has deepened partnerships with China, economic lifelines, Iran, drone supplies, and North Korea artillery. Many global South nations, including India and South Africa, remain neutral, criticizing Western double standards ACE and advocating for peace talk. Possible scenarios: 1. Protracted war. Continued trench warfare with incremental gains for Russian advantage and draining of Ukraine's limited resources. 2. Russian consolidation. Moscow solidifies control over occupied territories as it gains more strategic lands, pressuring Kiev to negotiate amid Western fatigue. Conclusion: 3 years into the war, neither side appears ready to compromise. Putin bets on Western fragmentation and Russia's capacity to outlast Ukraine, while Zelenskyy stakes survival on unflagging international aid. The path to peace remains obscured by maximalist demands, but the human and economic costs, over 500,000 casualties, global food disruptions, and reconstruction estimates exceeding $3 trillion, intensify calls for diplomacy. As global alliances fracture, the war's outcome may hinge less on Ukraine and EU involvement than on political wins in Washington and Moscow. And that's your world, and what shapes your world today, reported. Thank you for joining us on Z Global Dispatch. If today's coverage brought you clarity, smash that like button, subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss an update. We're here because you're here. Drop a comment below telling us what story gripped you most or what you'd like to see next.